house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. What's up? It's the Grow Your Money podcast where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. I'm going to give y'all some time because I don't see nobody on here. What's up? I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes to get up on here and join us. And you know that this is a dialogue and not a monologue. What does that mean? That means I want you to talk back to me and talk black to me. It's Money Monday. Go tell everybody that Constance Carter is here. Y'all thought I forgot about you, huh? Oh my God. Thank you, Alec, for me. She remembered. It's my birthday, y'all. I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years old. Can you tell? I am 50 years old today. My daughter has been saying that I have been talking about I'm 50 for the last 2 years. So I'm finally here. I finally arrived. And what they say is, I don't know. I read that they say 50 is a year of transformation. 50 is a year for new beginnings, but I heard 50 is a year that people just don't give a fudge. And I think I got to that place a few years ago. I used to be one of them people where I wanted everybody to like me. And then finally I got to a place where I really don't care. So I think 50 is that place. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. Listen, look at all the birthday love that I'm getting. So as I am embarking on 50, and you know, this is a dialogue and a monologue, not a monologue. And what does that mean? That means I want you to talk back to me and talk black to me. So for, I love to engage with, when we live, the reason why, otherwise I would do it pre-recorded, right? The reason why we're live is because I love the engagement. I like for y'all to talk to me. I like to put your comments on the stage and, I want you to talk back. So, in the spirit of my birthday, I wanted to have a conversation. I'm always trying to somehow bring you value. And I wanted to have a conversation about, this is a season in my life where we're at the age where we're losing parents. I'm so grateful that I have both of my parents with me. I got a brother who's 8 years older than me. So, him being almost 60 with not just parents, but we have a grandmother that's still alive as well. So that's a blessing. But, we're seeing, some of our friends that are no longer with us. We're seeing, our aunties, uncles, just people, we've been living long enough to where we're losing people. And so we have to be prepared. And I always talk about, making sure that your assets are assets that are protected, that you have your living trust and things like that. But I think it even goes beyond that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what we need to be doing right now to ensure that our families are good, that our kids won't be fighting at the end of our lives, that everything that we do, that we're doing things to protect our legacy, that we're protecting the next generation, because we work so hard, and we're not working hard just to be, here and wealthy and build wealth for this generation. We want to pass it on. When we look at other communities, especially within our white brethren and sister, and they've had 400 years to pass assets, land, money, wealth. And we've been just generally passing trauma. So we've only really been passing, been in the wealth building game for the last 60 years. And so we haven't had the opportunity to pass it in the ways that other communities have. And so now that we have it, we need to be able to give and then pass it so that we can give our kids a fair chance. But before we move forward, I want to bring on my girl. You know her. We be on here every Wednesday, chopping it up, just talking some shit. So I want to bring her on here because I want to engage and have this conversation with her. Plus, I really, really missed her last week. So let's bring Miss April. What you doing?
Oh my God. Hi, it's your birthday, is it not?
It is my birthday.
Oh,
but you know what I want to say? This is what I want to say.
APRIL. There's ways to get business funding.
Is that in that book? I forgot what I wrote in that book.
It's in this book. And let me tell you guys, this is a great way to say happy birthday to Constance, is by going out and buying a book. If you don't have a book, and especially this one, if you don't have this book right here, you're poor.
April, I ain't seen you in a minute.
Yes, this is true.
Where you been?
Well, I went to this place called Atlanta. Let me tell you all really quickly. Atlanta is a wonderful place, but they stole my iPad, and I'm really, really having a hard time about it.
Atlanta stole your iPad, April?
Atlanta stole my iPad. The whole damn city.
Why would they do that?
Because they hate me, clearly.
I was
Anyway,
gonna say that. They probably don't like
they
you very
do.
much.
They hate me. It's because of
As
my
I
forehead.
know.
It's huge.
Mine too, though. So they
You said
probably
what
hate
happened?
mine is too. So they probably hate me too.
Oh my God, don't ever go to Atlanta. They'll steal your iPad. That's what they do there. They're like, listen, you have a big forehead, we're stealing iPads. But no, how does it feel being older?
So April calls me last night and she holds up this sign. She FaceTimes me all the time and she holds up this sign and it said, "You are old as." Y'all see that? I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it because I've committed to being in my 50s and not cursing.
The lie detector determined that
I'm a goddamn lie. I'm a goddamn lie.
lies I tell you out loud.
Yeah. So how does it feel? You know what? It actually feels like I feel like I'm 20. Honestly, I don't got no aches, no pains. I ain't got no ailments. I'm good. I'm healthy. I just started back working out. You know, I was working out for like 17 years and I stopped last year. So I just really started back a couple weeks ago. I feel good. I feel like I could.
Are you working out like my good girlfriend Jermaine? Because I'm just telling you.
Oh hell no! I worked out with her.
Makes me sick. Don't you hate her?
No, I worked out with her one time. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I said I really like to just do solo stuff. The reality was she do too damn much. Don't know anybody even do all that shit.
Okay, so she and I used to go walking. And I used to have this thing where I'd go walking for like 20, 30, 50 miles. And she's like, what I'm not going to do is walk 20, 30, 60 miles. So I was like, that's fine. I'll go with you. I'll go with you. And then I went with her. And
she's been doing it.
She's been running. She doesn't walk. She runs.
Oh, ain't nobody doing all that shit.
Have you seen her legs? Nasty. Anyway.
Hey, let me see your legs.
Damn. I
can't show you my legs right now.
I love Jermaine.
I actually had a dream that just reminded me, and I totally forgot about it. I had a dream because I haven't shaved a lot of things in a very long time.
Oh my Lord.
So I had a dream that I had a bunch of hair on. Yeah, my hair on my legs look like that. Speaking of which, I went out last Friday. And a bunch of men approached me at this place. All of them looked like their name was Jimmy Ray or Earl or something. But anyway, it was a whole assembly line. I said, I got to get the fuck up out of here. No, anyway, this
an assembly line of Jimmy Rays.
Yeah, assembly line of Jimmy Rays approaching. It was like one to come, and then he, the next. So it was like, I always complain like, I was just complaining like, I went out last week and nobody gave me eye contact. Then I go in, I get all this attention. I'm like, no, not you. But anyway, this guy, he goes, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm from California. And he grabs my braids because my braids are down and he smells them and he does like this. Yeah, I smell California all over you. I was like, okay. It was weird. It was so weird. Jimmy Ray
Violet made my ass itch. I don't know about you. No, when I had a bald head though, people would do that. They would grab the back of my head and they'd be like, oh, I would love to just palm your head. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, it was a bunch of those. In fact, the girl I went with, because she kind of held me captive, because she was like, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to MGM. And listen, we already went to one place. I was tired of shit after the first place. And I was over there texting my daughter, help, SOS. So she came, she knew she had my location and she came and picked me up in the middle.
So you left? You rolled out on your friend?
I want to know where you were.
Hey, I want to know who you were with.
Who took you there?
Huh?
Who took you there?
I'm not telling, but we went over to other spot. What's the spot we go to over in Oak Creek?
Oh, the country club.
Girl, too bad you booed up now, because when I tell you it's a meat market over there now, it's like 70% men and 30% women.
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoy that though, but I'm good. Yeah.
Too bad y'all booed up.
Right. She's like, I'm good. She just got back from Mexico.
You got back from
Yeah,
where?
I escaped. I got out of Mexico before they started
Don't say that. 'Cause
bombing
I'm going on Friday. Don't do that.
You going to Mexico Friday?
Yeah.
Well, don't
Oh,
go to
no, oh my God, I
Puerto
was about to ask
Vallarta
you.
or Guadalajara.
Yeah, I ain't going to Guadalajara. What'd you say, April?
No, I was about to ask you what part, but I'd rather you not say that on camera.
She
So,
going to the bougie part.
well, of course, she always goes to every place bougie.
Listen, I don't know. I just somebody said, "Hey, let's go to Mexico," and I said, "All right. Here's my passport and here's my TSA pre-check number. Let's
So
go."
that's all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. If you want Constance to go someplace with you, all you have to do is ask her for her passport information, and she
Yeah,
will see it.
and my TSA pre-check. So I said this year is going to be the year of yeses. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm it's not a blanket yes, but I'm going to say more yeses.
The vintage version is saying yes. Vintage Constance. All
What?
right. You
You
know,
know,
you're
I like
50,
that.
so we got your vintage
I'm gonna
Constance.
start calling her VC.
before I said a lot of no's. So this year I'm saying a lot of yeses.
All right, vintage.
So as I am 50 and I just received my AARP card in the mail last week, it was a stark reminder that I need to make sure that I look at all of my insurances, which I did last week. And I actually audited my insurances. So I have like three permanent life insurance policies, and I have a term life insurance policy that's getting ready to expire next year. So I got that motherfucker when I was 31 years old, and I paid for it for the last 20 years, and it expires next month or next year in 2027. So I need to get my stuff together. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I got three permanent life insurance policies. This term is like a 1.5 million, but I got it when I was 30. So imagine what I paid then and what I'm getting ready to pay for it now. And April, what's your insurance situation looking like? You good?
Right now, all I have is term. That's why I'm kind of pissed.
No, term is good though.
No,
What's
term
wrong?
is good, but I need some whole life up in my life
Why you need whole life?
so I can borrow against my own money and become my own bank.
Yeah, I did that.
And what happened?
I'm not really happy when I audited last week. But anyway, I won't talk about it right now.
I was like, clearly, just like, so we not going to talk about that right now, okay?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I have three whole policies, one IUL, three whole policies. I put a few $100,000 in there, and they doing what they do. But just I would say for my investment appetite, I probably wouldn't have put as much in the policy. That was probably it. I probably wouldn't
But
put
the
a
thing is, though, with term, most term life ends at like what 85. I think is like the oldest or something along those lines.
I don't know. But okay, I didn't know. But I know, and I love the fact that I get to borrow against it. But for the way I invest, probably a smaller portion should have went to that whole life policy, and more should have went into other areas, investing in other areas. So I put like $300,000 in my whole in my permanent life insurance policy, and then I borrow a little bit, but I should have diversified a little bit more. As when I audited it for me, that's what I should have done. But the term is good. My kids get if I die now, my kids will get 1.5 million plus another probably $1 million in the other policies. So they'll be good. They'll be taken care of. But I need more, anyway. What's
Yeah,
your
you know what I need to look into because so both of you ladies are entrepreneurs and I still am employed by someone, but I have good coverage through my employer. But of course, if I leave that employment, my insurance terminates, and they give me an option where I can convert it. I just don't know if I'm able to convert it to a whole life policy, or will I just convert it to a policy where I own myself, and it's still terms. I need to research that. That's probably something a lot of people need to look into. Like, because when I look at my employment, the insurance through my employer is great coverage if I was to die today. But I
Don't do
don't
that.
know what happens when I'm ready to retire or when I leave that employment, what's going to happen to that policy, or will I be able to afford to convert it to an individual policy?
Yeah. So it's really cheap. Do they pay for most of it? Do you pay anything on it, or do they pay for
I
the thing?
pay minimal. They pay most of it. Yeah, they pay most of it. I pay, I don't know, maybe $15, $16 No, I mean a pay period.
Really?
Right.
That's
But
how it was when I was working at the bank. When I worked at the bank, you said $15, $16, and you
like
probably
okay.
had like the highest amount, right?
Yeah, and it's like it's multiplied my salary by a few times. Yeah. So
Yeah.
um my son will be fine, the house will be paid off.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the important thing. But here's the thing though, for not most black people, I don't want to do a blanket statement, but I do want to say that if you look statistically, only 56 to 58% of black people have some form of life insurance.
right.
6 to 58%. So that's a little more than half. That means over 40 some odd percent, 42% of black people do not have health insurance. And so then that's why we see GoFundMe's popping up all over the place. Now,
Right.
in certain situations, like and
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. I'm the biggest supporter of GoFundMe's. I was in the past. Like I was that one. Somebody was in trouble. I was given to their GoFundMe's. But I've realized that we have to be more proactive than reactive. We got it, and I can see like in the instance of like a child, maybe you don't have coverage for your children. Maybe a teenager, something happens to your teenager. I understand that, but a lot of or something happens and you're out of work. Maybe you need to GoFundMe or you need some support like that. But I remember back in the day when people would do car washes, when they would do barbecue plates. Now it's the whole GoFundMe's. And so if we say 48%, 46 to 48% of black people don't have life insurance, that means 42% don't.
Right.
So
And those GoFundMe's are only going to cover the burial. What
the bear.
happens when they're gone?
Well,
So
let's see.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying let's talk about the burials because I know Jermaine, you just lost your father, and I'm so sorry that you
Right.
just lost your father. And he had life insurance at one time, right?
Right. So if I can tell this story, I don't know, it's funny now, but it's not funny. So
And you just
so
lost.
there was I'm sorry, repeat that.
When did you lose your dad?
The 25th, January 25th.
Okay.
Yeah. So and he had burial insurance, thankfully, but
He had burial insurance, thankfully. He had burial insurance. She gone. But we're gonna let her talk. What's your situation with your insurance?
With my personal insurance, nothing.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, in all seriousness, it's just plain insurance. It's just enough, just in case, like to pay off my bills and call it a day. Like I don't want to be a burden on my husband. What I wish is that if I still had the bank situation, my husband would never have to worry for at all about anything for at least until he's old and gray. You know what I mean?
So as
So
entrepreneurs, we have to make sure that we carry our own insurance and make sure that our kids are protected, not just with life insurance though, but there's a disability insurance as well. If we ever become incapacitated in some way, and we need to make sure that our families are still covered while we can't work. That's also important.
So I'm going through it with my
Oh,
father.
somebody just said that. We were saying at the same time. I'm sorry. You're right, Mark.
My father-in-law passed away, and just seeing how this has kind of has happened, and everything that he's gone through, it's very concerning, and it's very eye-opening. So when it comes to my parents, you don't want to have that conversation with your parents, right? You definitely don't want to even have that conversation with yourself because you're like, I don't know what's next. So it's the unknown. You know what I mean?
You do want to have that conversation because one thing that we know.
That's the problem. You don't want to have the conversation, but you have to have the conversation. And so, like my mom, for example, with everything that happened with my father-in-law, I'm like, all right, we're making sure that your trust is set up. Right now, we're getting my father's trust set up. And the thing is, people are like, oh, well, I just don't want to, as it relates to money, I don't want it to be a problem. If anybody watches Housewives of Potomac, Giselle was going through that with her dad. Giselle's father passed away, and all the money went to the mother, or not the mother, the wife, because that's not her mother. And unfortunately, she lost everything, and it was something that was written in like a couple days before he passed away, so he wasn't even able to write this information in, so it was all like fraudulent. I say all
Mm.
that to say, like, we have to make sure that when it comes to our parents, we're also up to date on everything and everyone who's around them.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you for saying that because actually these are conversations. Like I was talking to my dad last year and I was like, Dad, you're such a blessing, Daddy. You almost 80 and you still got a mama that's living. Wow. Because when I'm 80, I know you're not gonna be around. He's like, what? Don't say it. I'm like, Dad, your mom was 15 when she had you. You were 30 when you had me. Like the possibility of you being around at 110 years old is probably not likely, right? So it's probably not gonna happen. But we have to have the conversations. We know that you're not gonna be here forever. We know
Yeah.
that. So we can't just act like they are, and we are. What we know is imminent is death. I will say, I'm gonna let you talk, Jermaine. My friend Tanisha, good girlfriend of mine. She mentioned that the conversation about this because her mom left her laid. Now, her mom, Miss Val, was a mentor of mine. I worked at HP back when I was 18. She was the first person, 19, maybe 20. And she was one of the first like black women that I knew that was making six figures back in the 90s. We worked up there in the executive suites with the CEO. She was high level. Miss Val did not play. You heard me. She made that money. And Tanisha, I love Tanisha. Tanisha was like, she used to march to the beat her own drum. So she just kind of just did her thing. She was the total opposite of her mom. It was like she was that rebellious child. Like her mom was just this really, straight laced woman. And Tanisha was like, I want to do what the hell I want to do. And so, but Tanisha, it all came full circle. She lost her dad a couple of years ago, and she just lost her mom a few months ago. And I went down, it was great timing because I had to go speak in Vegas. She lives in Vegas, and I had to go speak in Vegas in October. When I tell you, she showed me the binder that Miss Val left her with when I tell you Tanisha is set for life with insurance and trust and annuities and like she don't ever got to work again if she don't want to because her mom set her up so nicely.
Nice.
That's the type of thing that we need to be doing for our children is that I want to leave my children a binder. And this annuities that she got up in there, annuities that she don't even know. She got a couple of more annuities. Her financial advisor told her, house is good. She got a house, paid off, car, everything. She's great. That's the type of legacy we need to leave for our children. But Jermaine, for you, what happened with your dad?
Oh, so it's crazy. So we actually had a conversation, I would say less than 30 days before he passed, where we were talking about wills and getting paperwork together and just finding out how everything was going to be structured. Because a couple of things. One thing, he owns land in South Carolina, but it is evenly divided between his five other siblings.
Mm.
And and currently everybody holds this land in one bucket. So we don't know which strip of the land is his. There's 60 acres. We don't know what part is his. It hasn't been divided up. It's all under the children and it's one bucket. So now my father passed away. And then 2 weeks before that, his sister passed away. So we are all trying to figure out, as the children who are inheriting this land, like, what do we do? How do we split it up? Like, legally, who owns what plot of the land now? There's 60 acres. What do we do? So that's one part where we're dealing with that. And then even on another side with my mother, so since my father passed away, my father was the primary breadwinner. His income is what supported my mom. And it was a funny story. She told me years ago she was having a conversation with her sister, and my dad supposedly overheard the conversation. And my mom told her sister, well, if anything happens to me, you know, he did it. And so my dad, my dad, I swear I love him to death, but if I could wake him up today, I would wake him and choke him and then put him back. She said my dad heard that conversation, and after hearing that conversation, he canceled both of their life insurance policies
Damn.
and broke it down
Hers
to where they
too.
just have burial policy.
He
He said,
can't
I got
cancel
one more.
hers too.
Yes.
Oh, so he was like, ain't no.
Because my father always thought that he was going to outlive my mother. He always thought that he was going to outlive my mother. So he was like, what? Well, I don't need it. Like, I'm going to outlive her. And then, his income took care of everything in the household.
He's like,
So he's
I'll show
like,
you. I'll show
yeah, I'm
you.
going to show you. And so they can't blame nothing on me. So here we are. My father passed and my mother is left. And we're trying to figure out how to handle all these assets, how, what are we going to, thankfully we have, she has a home that has equity, but we're trying to figure out, what her new normal is going to be, what her day-to-day income is going to look like, how she's going to maintain the house. Are we going to have to sell the house? And these are all issues that we would not have had to deal with if we had had substantial life insurance in place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe it. I'm like, and let me tell you the kicker. My father sold life insurance in the 80s.
So he knew the importance of the
He
life.
knew it. But for whatever that conversation was, I guess he was like, yeah, so they won't blame me.
Yeah, what's the lesson? You know what's a blessing is the three of us are women of a certain age, and
Especially you.
Yeah, no, we want to make sure that that's very clear.
That's the theme of the day.
however, what I was going to say is that we both had our parents, and you just lost your dad, but we all, that's a blessing is that we all have lived this long and we've been able to have our parents. Unfortunately, that's not everybody's story, but the thing about it is we don't know because it could be us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We just don't know, and so who knows the day or the hour? That's why you got to have your life insurance. And life insurance, I mean, literally, if you're fairly healthy, you can get a policy and be paying $20, $25 a month, 30, get a couple hundred thousand. I don't know how much a couple $100,000 policy is, but I know it can't be. I pay $75 a month, and I've been paying $75 a month for 20 years, 19 years now, and I have $1.5 million in coverage. So I can't imagine that is significantly over that, right? For some
Even
life,
if it's $100 a month, we spend $100 going outside.
right?
You step outside the house, you're spending $100.
The
So you
moment
can
that you
spend
step
$100 a month on life insurance.
the moment that you step outside that house. So, y'all, listen, Black people, GoFundMe is not a life insurance policy. And if you are of a certain age, say you 50, 60 years old, and you die of some type of illness and you have a GoFundMe, I feel bad for you, but I can't feel sorry for you because we've all had equal opportunity to get this information, you know?
True.
April?
Mm-hmm.
Anything to anything?
I mean, listen, with everything that has happened since 2024, everything that I've seen, and I would even go back to 2023 because I actually thought Kia's mom passed away in 2024, but it was 2023. It's hard. It's hard seeing what people have to go through to get any extra money that they need to take care of for that person. Because what we're thinking about, what the average person thinks about, and I'm sorry to say this, people will be like, no, that's not what I think about. I was in banking for 22 years. When people pass away, others get greedy and think that people have much more money than they actually do.
Right.
Okay. And like you'll hear it, I just love my family. That's all I care about is my family. Listen, I can say that and mean it. I don't need anything from you. If you go tomorrow and you don't leave me a dime, if I find out you left somebody else a dime, I'll be hurt. But it is what it is. That's who you wanted to leave
That's
the money.
real. Yeah.
Move on with your life. You know what I mean? But people get ignorant when it comes to money.
And then you just don't know what stage people are in. Like today, you'll say, oh, you're fine, everything's good. But you don't know what stage someone's going to be in, say, 10, 15, 20 years from now when you actually pass away,
Well, true. But I'm just saying that, like, when you watch how people don't, when you watch how people act when it comes to money, it is 90% of the time, and I mean that 90% of the time, it's some ignorant shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an expectation that people have, especially with the older people. Someone who's older passes away, they're like, "Oh, I know they got millions hidden somewhere under a car,
Right.
And it's not true."
Right.
So we don't know what they were going through. We don't know how they spent their money. We don't know any of those things. We don't know if they had a conversation where they started getting in their feelings because of something their spouse said. We don't know what the situation is. We need to have those conversations, even though they're uncomfortable for us, number one. Number two, we need to protect ourselves. And it's hard to say, as a person who is an entrepreneur, money is not like an easy thing. So it's like, to your point, we spend $100 going outside. But sometimes when you're dealing with being an entrepreneur, today $100 is nothing, and tomorrow $100 is like
Everything.
well, that's right. That's
Yeah.
all I got to eat on, or
Let
I
me
need.
tell you. Let me
gas.
tell you about that hunt. So before this is why one of the reasons why I filed bankruptcy is because just that point alone, I was pregnant and I had to decide, okay, shit, am I gonna pay my assistant or am I gonna pay this insurance for this month? So I said, okay, I'll just pay the insurance next month and I'll pay her. Well, my ass had that baby and I didn't have no insurance. And I had a $50,000 bill from having the baby because I had no insurance. And I ended up having to file bankruptcy because I had, this big medical expense. That's one of the things. But so for an entrepreneur, that is very true. But we just have to build that in what our expenses, just like we got to eat, just like we got to pay our PG&E or our utility bills. We got to pay for our insurance. And every single day I do a video about what happens when people don't have, because one of the things my mama always said is people get to acting funny when it comes to death and money.
Yeah, they
And
do.
man, I mean, thankfully, with your situation, Jermaine, you guys haven't had any crazy things, people coming out the woodwork, but it'd be babies coming up, it'd be all kind of shit happening. Somebody, like this one story I told, the lady, her best friend died, and she didn't even tell the kids until she wiped out the bank account. And then she told the kids after the bank account was wiped out, oh, by the way, your mama's dead.
And I took all your money.
Yeah. This one lady, she thought, she had gotten married to this guy and he had a house and he never updated his will. He never updated his trust. So his ex-wife got all the money, so all of that stuff needs to be updated. These things need to be talked about all the time. That's the reason why I have
All the time.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. That's why I wrote a book, and I wrote a book because I have a living trust. And I was, there was this came about. I didn't even know about living trust or anything like that before, but there was this young gentleman that we sold a house to, and he died about 8 months later. He was only 38 years old. He died about 8 months later, and his wife was pregnant when they bought the house, so they just had a new baby. And when he died, like maybe a year later, the wife came back and was like, "Hey, I want to sell the house." So she tried to sell the house, but it had to go to probate. She wasn't on the house. And then the judge said, well, and of course, because they have children now, the property is split between the wife and the children. The judge said it's not in the children's best interest to sell the house. So no, you got to keep it. She's like, but I can't keep it. I can't afford it. I don't want it. I want to be near my family. I want to sell the house. So she had to go through the probate process. And had they had a living trust, had they had their stuff in order, had they had life insurance, she wouldn't have had to deal with this. But because they didn't get their affairs in order, and every time you have a life change, if there's another baby added, all those things need to be added on there. So if I have my will, my insurance 20 years ago, 19 years ago, that means I only had 2 children at the time. Right? All of them I have added all of them as beneficiaries, but I could have just had this life insurance and never updated it. And if I died and I only had 2 kids on there, only 2 of my kids would have been taken care of. And now one of my kids is acting funny. One of my kids is acting up.
So this is to your point. This is insurance related, but home insurance related, right? In DC, I remember when I worked at Capitol Hill 173 years ago, the houses were, people would buy their houses for $100,000, $80,000 on Capitol Hill, right? And I remember, so what a lot of people don't realize is the reason they were switching the neighborhood, if you will, and they were setting a lot of those houses on fire, okay? And people would come to me. So before they started setting the houses on fire, I had a lot of clients that would come over and they say, somebody came to my house recently, knocked on my door and said, I want to buy your house. Will you sell it to me for $150,000? And they're like, well, I bought it for $70,000 or $60,000 or even $50,000. But I don't want to sell my house. I like it. And I'm like, well, if you like it and you want to stay there, stay there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fast forward. Few months later, the whole block up in flames, right?
Oh, wow.
They go back and they contact the insurance company. They have the house insured for only $50,000. You can't pay. You could. That was back in the day. So now there's a clause that goes in your insurance where as your value increases, so does your insurance.
Got to.
So, but that
Right.
wasn't the case at the time. So a lot of people lost their homes back in the day.
That's
Mm.
crazy. So
So I say that to say, still keep up to look at that as well. So like depending on where you are. So I know in like the DMV they have changed that completely. I know out here in Georgia they have changed it. But if you live in like a very rural area, they might not have changed it. You might have like mom and pop's insurance company, and they might not have that in there. So if your home has increased in value, make sure that you have enough coverage so that you can have a new home built.
Right.
Also, when it comes to your home, a lot of people don't understand term life insurance does help. They have a homeowner's policy or a home insurance policy where you can actually purchase it and it goes down as your home is paid off. And I forget what the name of it is, but it's like a mortgage insurance um, policy that you can get, and it's a step down. So it steps down periodically as your home is paid off, so that 30 years from now, you don't have to pay. You're not paying the full amount of insurance that you were paying before. So those are some options that you have for your home, because a lot of people think, oh, my home is fine. No, you still have to pay that large bill. And also people don't realize that your home, yeah, you have a fixed payment, but that does not count when it comes to interest and I'm sorry, taxes and insurance. Those will forever be increasing now, especially now that they have that clause put into the policies. So those are things that you all need to think of, the viewers need to think about as well.
So I have a question. Just like, what's the best vehicle to use for life insurance to help deal with changes in life? So like the insurance that I needed when I was 38 is far different from what I need right now at 49. Like I've changed in career, I've changed in income, I've changed in assets. But if I had the insurance I had at 38, it definitely is a shortfall. And and then as far as inflation, so what type of vehicle do we use to make sure our insurance is keeping up with inflation and life and as you grow?
You,
Um,
no, I'm not trying to be funny. People don't pay attention to their stuff. It's like set it and forget it. You can't set it and forget it. That's what the problem is. And I'll even put myself out there. That's where my problem has been, because I'm like, okay, this is what I have. If I go back and look at it, it ain't enough for whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't enough for life, for living later on.
mhm.
And what you needed at 30. So at 30, term life was fine. Whole life is something that people should have invested in years and years and years ago. If we would have invested in whole life insurance, because we would, and I say this, I used to sell it, right? I used to sell term life insurance and annuities, right? And when we were selling them, I'll be honest, I'm like, whatever, I don't even care about this. I'm too young to be thinking about some damn whole life insurance.
Mhm.
Nobody want to talk about no whole life insurance. Now understanding whole life insurance really is focused on your life. So whole life insurance or IULs, okay. Oh, that's why. I was about to say that's why she had to go. Whole life
No,
insurance
that was
is
my
more
fault.
so.
No,
Huh?
somebody keeps trying to call me
Oh.
through
I
Whole,
Instagram.
whole life insurance is really for the living. You know what I mean? So whole life insurance allows you to be your own, and whole life IULs, they allow you to actually borrow against it. They allow you to take out if you need to take out. They allow you to use it as a death benefit. They allow you to have beneficiaries. You're able to use it in along with your trusts. There's so many ways that a whole life insurance or an IUL will be able to assist you later on down the line. Term life insurance, as we just had this conversation, it expires.
Right.
And so the problem is when you're 50, 100, same.
Yeah.
When you're old and it expires, You then have, I know, right? You then have to pay so much more money on purchasing a new
Policies,
policy.
right.
And
Yeah.
so that's where the frustration comes from, because where, to your point, Constance, for $1.5 million, you're paying $75 when you were 30. Now
Right.
that you're 50, to get $100,000 is $75.
Right. And that's the
Right.
thing. So when you talk about Jermaine, when you mentioned like how do you keep up with that? So I remember when I got my insurance, it was like, okay, this is how I think I was making like $200,000 a year that year. I guess I was 29, 30. And they based it upon whatever my life was in that moment, how many kids I had, how much we need in order to pay off the house and kind of maintain and all that stuff. And that's how we were able to determine what we needed. But of course, life changed. I had two more kids since then. The house that I was at then was different. I've been in two other houses since then that have been way more. Those are $100,000 houses, $200,000 houses. Now I'm in $1 million house. So the need has definitely changed. So that would have definitely been up to me for me to change that. But go to Mark's question. He said, when you're old, no. Yeah, when you're old, people get sick and they end up in the hospital and then they die. Who pays the bills? Because as a Canadian, we don't have to worry about bankruptcy due to hospital care.
And I feel like you're showing off, Mark. Okay? Because when
Their
my
estate has
father-in-law,
to pay the bill.
look, I have literally a stack of bills that need to be paid from the hospital. Let me tell you what the hospital does not give a fuck.
Right.
And here's the thing, too. If you don't have a trust, and especially a irrevocable living trust, because they can definitely come after your estate if you have a irrevocable. They can't come after your estate if you have an irrevocable living trust. But if you don't have a trust at all, what happens is when it goes to probate, they have to put in an article in the newspaper notifying all your creditors that you have this property and hey, come and get your money. And so anybody you owe, if it's not in the trust, everybody could come after their money and they get theirs first before your heirs. So yeah, it actually goes to the estate. The estate has to pay it. But if there's nothing in the estate, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. Like the kid, it ain't gonna go to the kids. Like I'm not gonna be responsible for my parents, but their estate has to pay for it if there's any money in the estate.
Right.
So it don't stop. It won't stop. It can't stop. Don't stop. Nim said you have to get a whole life term. You have to take physical every so often. Yeah. And you do. You should actually, when you get your insurance policies though, you should have a plethora of insurances. You don't just you should have a permanent insurance, but you also should have a term insurance too. So you need to have several policies that do different things. Like I said, I have 3 whole and 1 term. So they all do very different things. They all collect differently. The interest is all very different. One's an IUL and 2 are permanent, one's a term. So they all do different things, but they're for the protection for my children. Some I could borrow from now. Some have penalties, some don't. So there's just a plethora of them. But I do have a story from a Reddit story. You want to hear it? Yeah. So it says my dad passed away last month and we have no idea how bad things were. I'm still trying to process everything, but I wanted to share this because I wish someone had told us sooner. My dad passed away unexpectedly last month. No warning, no time to prepare. One day he was here, the next day he wasn't. We thought at least the financial side would be handled. He told us, don't worry, I got y'all. But when we started going through his paperwork, there was no life insurance. None. Sound familiar, Jermaine? Mm-hmm. What we did find was bills, credit cards, a car note, medical debt we didn't even know about. The funeral home needed money up front, not later, not in payments, up front. We're already grieving, and now we're scrambling. My mom didn't have enough saved. My siblings and I started pulling money together, but still wasn't enough. So we did what a lot of families do. We made a GoFundMe. And I'm not going to lie, that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Posting something like that, asking for help while you're still trying to accept the fact that your parent is gone. It didn't feel right. People helped, and I'm grateful, but it also made me realize something. We weren't prepared at all. My dad wasn't a bad person. He worked hard his whole life. He just never set things up the right way. Now we're dealing with the emotional loss and the financial mess at the same time. If you're reading this and you have people you love, please don't leave them like this. Get life insurance, have a plan, talk to your family, because they'll figure it out. Is not a plan.
Right. Nope, that is not a plan. I'm living it, walking it right now,
That's
and
crazy.
it's tough. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. I think one thing that's important, if I could say, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But I could. Well, before we get out of here, do you have any final thoughts, Jermaine? And then I'll go to you, April.
Um, just as final, just everything we've talked about today. Just make sure that when you love your family, prepare for you to not be here. Take the steps, make the investment. Um, because it is devastating. I can't sugarcoat that in any way. It is, my mom, she lost her husband of 57 years
Mm,
and now trying to figure out life and being 81 and not working. It is devastating. So
yeah.
if you love your family, definitely take the steps now, make the sacrifice, invest in some type of life insurance plan so that you leave your family, the ones behind, that they're not distraught, because it's already hard enough just dealing with the grieving part of it. So, and then I just want to say, I love you, ladies. You guys are entrepreneurs. I'm not. I got to get back on this clock.
Love you more, girl. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your
Yeah.
story with us, because this is
Yeah.
real life what
Thank
you're
you for
going through.
having me.
I'm
Can
so
I
glad.
say something real quick though? Oh, I'm sorry, Constance.
No, I was just gonna say I'm so glad that you just lost your dad, and for you to come on here and share this with us to let people know like this is really important. This ain't nothing something that you want to deal with. It's a lot. So we appreciate it for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Before you go, Jermaine, so I was at the funeral and I can say that it was so beautiful. And it was so in Louisiana, when we have funerals, it's a party, right? This was like right close. It wasn't there because it's not it just don't it's not a Louisiana thing, but it was so beautiful and you could tell everyone who was there loved that man. Like it wasn't a situation where how you go to some funerals and you're like, oh, okay, well, we just came because we trying to show the family some respect. It was like we're showing the family respect, but we here because we love this man. So
Mm,
and it shows how much he was a staple in the community, and everyone just looked to him for advice. I mean, the stories that were told, and there weren't, and I can say the blessing is there weren't a lot of stories that were told up on on the mic, but you could hear people talking like, "Oh, he was beautiful. Oh, he was wonderful. Oh, he was this." It was just so loving.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank
You
you.
felt the love there. So I just want to say he was a great man. Clearly, I mean, he birthed you. He created you. Um, so thank you for allowing me to be a part of that.
Yeah, thank you for being there. Like I said, that we wanted it to be a celebration because, like I said, he was 81. He would have been 82 in May, and he lived a long life, successful. And he was miserable. So we actually were like, you know what? He truly is in a better place. So it wasn't a sad thing because we didn't want to see him suffer any longer. So, but yeah, thank you so much for the support. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming on, April. What are your final words?
My final words are love yourself, and do this for yourself. And don't, and when I say that, when you're doing it for yourself, you're most likely um, teaching the other people in your life the importance of this. And so you're getting them to also do it as well.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for you to get yourself educated. This is not, it doesn't stop with this conversation, what you're hearing here, or the conversation that you're seeing in chat. Do your research. It does not end here. This is actually just the beginning for a lot of you. So do your research. Learn everything you can about this and why it's going to be important for you and your family, and learn which policy you need for you and your family.
Good shit. Where can I find you, April?
April Sampe, AprilSampe, everywhere. And if you need a
Jermaine,
house, don't forget to call me.
Jermaine, where do they find you?
Oh, they can just look my name. Jermaine is everywhere. It's on Facebook, it's on IG, but I go by I am Jermaine Soko. I am Jermaine Soko.
What's
And
SoCo?
Constance. Oh,
What's Soko?
Southern Comfort.
It's short for Southern Comfort.
Oh, okay. Southern
Because
gal.
she's a Southern Belle, honey.
Southern gal. Okay. You know, Frankie Beverly got a song called Southern Gal.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely that Southern Belle.
I am a Southern gal. Yes.
Birthday girl. What's going on? Real quick, can you tell us what's new going
What's up?
on?
Today is my birthday, y'all.
And there's a promotion going on, right? What's the promotion? Aren't you promoting something?
I am. I'm 50 years old, y'all. Did you know I'm 50? Can you tell I'm 50? I don't feel a day
Vintage.
over 29. I don't feel a day over 19, baby. But I will tell you this. I really was thinking, dang, I wish there was more. I wish I had a situation where I was having a party and I can give gifts to other people because I just appreciate people being in my life. I appreciate the love that I get every single day from people. I appreciate friendship. So I can't do that. I'm not having a party where I'm able just to give out gifts to other people. But what I am able to do and what I have done is I've created content where I'm always trying to help people. So some of my premium content that I have, because I'm 50, I'm giving 50% off. So that will be my Living Trust book. My Living Trust book, and it's selling. When I tell you it's selling at $50. So it's $59 on Amazon. And right now the ebook is $25. So if you go to my website, constancecarter.com, and you put in the coupon code CC birthday, you can get the book. So the Living Trust book, you can get that for.
Wait, can they get this one half price too?
No, they're not. That one's not half price.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
But I will tell you. So let me show you. So if you guys see this book right here is half price. Boom. It's available on Amazon too. But on my page, the ebook is $25. So you have that, right? Then I also do a wealth coaching where I sit down with people. I do one-on-one coaching with people on their credit. So I help them get their credit. I give them a whole plan. It's really intensive. They get a whole package and everything and what they need to do with letters and everything afterwards. I tell them exactly what their credit's going to be as a result of that. So we sit down and we do a one-on-one consultation. That's 50% off. And then I do a wealth
Damn, really?
Yeah, that's 50% off right now. Yeah, and my calendar is booking up on that. And then I do a wealth strategy, which is not only am I helping you kind of get your credit established, but if you want to build your wealth portfolio, say you want to get property, you want to sit down and figure out what's the strategy for the next 3 to 5 years, we do that. That's more of an intensive conversation. That's an hour until you walk away with a plan with that. So if you have properties, I'm letting you know what your comps are. I'm letting you know what you qualify for. I'm letting you know all the to get your stuff in place so that you can have a plan for the next 3 to 5 years. That's 50% off. And then finally, guess what else is 50% off? Net 7 Collective, which you happen to be a part of, April Sampe. Yeah.
What?
50% off of Net 7 Collective. And that is a coaching program that you get to work with me directly, April, and a lot of other amazing women from all over the world, where we are right now. We have a curriculum. Go to my website. Go to net7collective.com, where I break down everything of what Net 7 Collective is. You see what the curriculum is for the year, exactly everything that we're going to cover and everything that we're doing. We're actually going to be going to a retreat. Hopefully we're going to Martha's Vineyard this year because we're talking about doing that. Yes. But that's Black women from all over the country who are just getting together, who want to build wealth, increase their net worth to 7 figures, and to pass it, not only to get it, but pass it. But that's also 50% off, y'all.
Wait,
And
this is not 50% off. Seriously, this is not 50% off. But if you don't have this, you're poor.
So that's what I'm giving to people for my 50th birthday. Again, I wish I could give like gifts in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I love you. I've always thought this of you. Here's a gift from me to you. But that is my gift from me to everybody for my 50th. And so it expires soon. But hopefully you guys will take advantage. You can work with me. You can work with April. You can be in the fold, in the circle, and you can be around a lot of dope and amazing women. So
and we are pretty dope and amazing. So yeah,
we are pretty dope and amazing. Yeah, we are pretty dope and amazing.
Y'all are dope and amazing.
As are you, Dollface.
Yes. But thank you, ladies. Thank you. My kids is taking me out. Kylle's on our way back. We're gonna get ready to head out to a wine bar or something. Go have some wine, and then we're gonna go out to dinner tonight. So it should be fun. Then I'm gonna do some traveling this year, y'all. I'm going to Thailand in a couple of next month.
Yes.
Yes, Hunty, I'm going to London. I'm going to where else am I going?
I'm going to London.
You ain't going to London. I'm going on a cruise.
There's a London in South Carolina. She's not going over the pond.
I am. Shit, if I've been over the Potomac, I mean,
Okay, she said there's a London in South Carolina.
If I've been over the Pacific, then I'm pretty sure.
I love it. So one of the ladies in Net 7 Collective, her daughter is Victoria Monet. Did you hear her new song? The new song that sounds like Ursha? Yeah, it's fire. So she's going on tour with
Bruno Mars.
So we're gonna meet her. I'm gonna meet her in London. So
nice.
Don't worry, April ain't doing that. But I'm gonna meet her in London in June, and then a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see. Oh, I plan on going to Egypt this year as well, and some other shit too. So
she should do 50 locations for 50 years. They don't have to all be international, but you know.
Did I tell you that this guy told me that?
What?
This guy told me that. This guy I met.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just turned 50. And he said he's going to do 50 locations for his 50th year. Yeah. And then he said, "You want to come with me?" And then he said,
"Did you say yes?"
No. Then he said,
"Yes." Ray?
Huh?
Was his name Billy Ray?
No, but then he gonna say he was cute at first. He was cute at first, and then he said, "If you act right," I was like, do whatever cuteness you had initially, you don't have no more cuteness. I ain't one of these little bitches, so got the wrong one, baby.
Was his name Earl?
It looked like now I feel like the name should have been Earl because whatever looks he had went down the drain.
Real messed up for people whose name is Earl, because I know some people from back in the day named Earl, and I'm like, dang, I feel bad for them because like you be calling Earl.
He looked like them dudes look like Earl. It was a lot of them too.
I need to find out where you went. We'll talk about that later. I want to know what location you.
I want to know who she was with.
Right.
It was in Clinton.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
It was in Clinton.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it probably was a Willie Earl.
Oh, it was the Pimp's basement. You was at the Pimp's basement.
What?
Okay, bye everybody. We love you guys.
What's the Pimp's basement? What the hell is a Pimp's basement?